Watch us remove 2 cotton buds from 1 ear canal this birthday, guys. We had a lovely gent came through, bless him. And you can see here, we've got this really kind of thick wax here right at the entrance to the canal. So we're just removing that. It's a little bit on the dry side. So we're just going to take this out with using the Jobson horn. Sometimes if I can see there's a bit of wax in there and it looks kind of quite dry to start with, I'll start off with the Jobson horn. You can see, look at that. That is a thick layer of skin and wax that came away there. And as we lift from the side, you can see everything starts to peel down the canal. And I'm thinking, okay, we've got a wax blockage and it looks quite soft. It's a bit lighter in color. Usually means it's a little bit softer when we get to this point, until the suction tube hit it. And then I was starting to think, this doesn't feel like soft wax. We've got this layer of dry skin I can see underneath, but watch what happens when the suction tube starts to hit the stop section. I can start to see these little bits of fiber and it changes color almost instantly. It goes white, which means that this is actually a cotton bud. So the end of a cotton bud, or Q-tip if you're watching this in the US. So we're just going to take this away with the forceps. Suction doesn't sort of do really well, but I will tell you that when I got the forceps onto this, it was solid. So imagine you getting a piece of cotton wool, you call it something different in the US, I forget what you call it, but cotton wool, the end of a Q-tip, and squashing it together so it becomes really, really tough. That's what it felt like in this ear canal. So I'm just pulling this out. There we go. And what I'm expecting to see behind this, which is what we normally see, is kind of mushy wax or very dry wax. It'll be 2 extremes behind this, whether water's penetrated into it or whether just the fact that cotton wool is there, it's sucked all the oil and moisture out of the canal. So I've got rid of that one. I thought, oh, okay, fine, we're going to be soft wax now. And then you can see the humidity's changed almost instantly. And then I did the same thing. I hit another cotton bud. So this gentleman had pushed a cotton bud, or I'm not exactly too sure. Gentleman couldn't tell me himself. Unfortunately, gentleman does have a few memory issues, which is why we're in this position here. But we're not too sure whether they tried to clean his ear, lost it, and then tried to clean it again, or forgotten he'd lost it and then tried to clean it. But bless him, he was really, really struggling with his hearing, and you can see why. Look at the size of that second cotton bud end or cotton wool end there, and behind this it looks really dry and messy, and that's just because you've had basically two dry bits of cotton wool in there, which has just drawn all of the oils away from the canal wall. So all the wax sitting behind it then has become super duper dry. And unfortunately, because the first one went in and impacted, and then the second one went in and impacted, and then we have wax on top of that, everything is pushed down on top of the eardrum. So this is not going to be an easy one to try and clean away, and I'm not expecting it to look pretty once we do. So what I've got here, you can see I've got the fine end on, and I've put the fine end on because we've got this sort of very sensitive portion of skin in this particular part of the ear canal. So when we're talking about this bit of the ear canal, we're talking about it's being surrounded by your skull, so it's surrounded by bone. So it's really super duper sensitive. If you touch against the skin here, it feels like someone's pinching in a really sensitive part. So the analogy we always use the back of your arm there. Give yourself a gentle pinch there and see what that feels like. Now imagine that going on inside your ear canal. So you've got to be super duper careful here. You don't really want to touch that canal, or if you can help it, you really want to leave it as alone as you possibly can. But let's get this now. And we can see part of the skin. Look, the eardrum is actually quite irritated behind. You can see it's pink. I'm taking these layers off. It is going to look pink. It is going to look mottled. It's not going to look particularly healthy when we do get this this wax away. But you can see that how thin those layers are, which makes it such a difficult one because we're hovering just above the skin there, but we don't want to touch it. But you have to get very close to it to peel that off. But you can see I'm starting to try and peel around the drum itself at the moment, just looking for any area I can get a little bit of purchase to bring this away. There we go. You can see that starting to lift. Oh, look at that peel. nice big chunky piece came away. You can see the skin of the eardrum just beyond. You'll probably get a better look when we go back in, but it looks quite pink and mottled underneath it, just where everything's been pushed on top of it. So that natural skin migration, what do we call it, guys? Epithelial migration. Well done, you've paid attention. So it started to come away off the eardrum. It should normally take those skin cells and migrate them off the eardrum. Hasn't been able to do it because all this has been just welded down on top of the drum, bless him. But this guy, oh my goodness, what a trooper this man was, because he just sat through this. I said, look, you know, it might not be particularly pleasant, you know, it might scratch a little bit. If it does, let me know. Didn't bat an eyelid through the entire thing. He was absolutely brilliant. Fair play to him. But look how this is coming away. We've got this peel down from the top. See how this is starting to crumble? It's very difficult to get this little piece off here. Just trying to crumble this around. There we are. You might hear some voices in the background, guys. I'm doing this early in the morning. The first lot of patients have just started turning up, so you might hear them in the waiting room. But this is starting to peel away. Ooh, there we go. Look, 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 look. Look at that coming away. That sort of peel on the top section there. Really, this is a layer of sort of thick underbelly of keratin here with this wax on top of it. Look at that. That came away really, really well. Oh, did fall off though on the way out. There you go. Don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy these videos, you can always like, heart, share, follow, and subscribe for me. That would be absolutely fantastic. We'd love to get new subscribers. We smashed 500,000 subscribers as well the other day. Oh my goodness. You know what? I genuinely never thought we'd get to that amount. I thought these videos, you know, we may get a couple of hundred people who quite like watching them. I never thought we'd have 500,000 people who like to watch these things on a regular basis, which is lovely for me and Mrs. B. All the hard work that everybody here, you know I'm kind of, well, me and Taylor, I should say, really, are the face of Audiology Associates, but there are so many people who work in the background, and we couldn't develop the channel anywhere near as much if it wasn't for those people, as well as the people you actually see here on the front of the screen as well. And Mrs. B oversees the whole lot, and fair play, she is awesome. Yeah, I know she's my wife, so I've got to say she's awesome, but she is genuinely awesome. What a woman, fair play. We've never got where we are today without her, so kudos to Mrs. B. There you go. Anyway, I digress. So I'm just trying to peel these last couple of pieces here off the pars flaccida. There we go. Not an easy one, and you've got to be that little bit more cautious in this area because the pars flaccida is super duper flexible, and it only has 2 layers of cells there rather than a 3rd layer of sort of fibers in there as well. So I'm just trying. You can see me kind of drop my head down to take a look underneath. There we go. That's as much as I could get off without really causing, or potential of causing, some damage to the eardrum. So I've left the rest there. The rest can now migrate out. Look at the size of just those 2 cotton buds though, guys, just the ends. The first one was, what's that? I mean, 5, that's what I can't even tell. There's probably a good, we're 3/4 of an inch altogether. Probably I'd say 3/4 of an inch worth of just cotton buds in that ear canal, which is just impressive. If you want to see another cotton bud removal, I'm going to pop that up here. If you're watching this on YouTube, it should appear up here somewhere. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. I'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.